go live and wait for people. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Live. We're live.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Nicola here from Conscious Crypto Traders, joined with, ta-da.
Good to see you all, everyone. Missed you guys this week. Boy, what a week too, eh? So much happening in the markets this week. Really, the roller coaster ride continues.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So guys, we have to talk about this. We need to talk about the monthly close that happened yesterday for Bitcoin. So in today's live stream, we have promised that we are going to be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum. We're going to look at Metaverse because we've been talking about Metaverse as a potential flow from the big coins into Metaverse coins towards the end of the super cycle, as a way of elongating the bull market and growing your profits. So we want to look a bit at what's going on there. But we need to talk about the monthly candle close yesterday.
Yeah, interesting times with that monthly candle close. Just wait for it, guys, because this is game changer. This monthly candle close, it is a game changer.
It is a game changer, and I'll tell you why, and Teresa will talk to you a bit about what she's thinking as well. It's a spinning top candle. Can you see that? It goes up the top and it goes down the bottom, and then we've got the red candle in the middle, and that's a spinning top. Now, here's what's significant. We closed for Moonvember, which was supposed to be the best month of the year for crypto. We closed around about 56,000 or something. So we closed lower than Rocktober. So we didn't get a Moonvember for Bitcoin and Ethereum, but we certainly got Moonvembers for Metaverse coins, right? And for some other coins. So why is this significant? And we'll drill down into the technical analysis of where we're going to go next. You can see I've got targets set for you here. We'll look at that, but we need to discuss this. This chart here is the percentage increases and decreases for Bitcoin from 2011 up to 2021. So you can see that where I've marked out blue, those are the years where we've run into the bull run. And I have been saying the pattern has been we get 8 green months, i.e. 8 months that are in the positive. Some of these months here that are in blue, they are actually green. They count as green, but I've colored them blue because they were over 50% increases in the months. Right, big, huge increases in the months, right? And I just wanted to draw your attention to that. But we have 8 months in the positive, 4 months in the negative. Same with 2017, 8 months in the positive, 4 months in the negative. Now, I've been saying, when we were in September, it's like, is the negative over? And are we just going to go up from here and have a super cycle and then end the bull run in December, which is tradition, but we close negative, guys? Teresa, what do you think?
I think Willy Woo's right in what he's been saying. I think this is confirmation that the 4-year cycles are over, right? Yep. We've been waiting for confirmation that we're still in some kind of 4-year cycle. This was like our last shot at a 4-year cycle, right? Yeah. Moonvember would have said, okay, we're still in the super cycle. The 4-year cycle still has some validity. The 4-year cycle was generated by the Bitcoin miners. They were the dominant holders of Bitcoin up until 18 months ago. And therefore, when the hash rate recapitulations happened, when we had the halving of how much the miners got for a Bitcoin transaction, that would usually be the signal that would start the bull run, right? And that was always what precipitated the 4-year cycle. It happened this year, the bull run was weak. Everybody said, okay, maybe we're in a super cycle, right? But if we were in a super cycle, we should have seen a green candle month for November. Now, that doesn't mean Bitcoin's heading back down. Don't hear that in what we're saying. But there are some longtime analysts out there, Willy Woo being my favorite amongst them, who've been saying maybe the days of the 4-year cycle are over it's more likely we may just be seeing a drunken wobble of Bitcoin upwards, where we see 1 or 2 green candle months, then a red candle month, 1 or 2 green candle months, then a red candle month. But in general, the trend is upward. And I think we just got confirmation that that's where we're in. So now the game has changed. Now the discussion on the 4-year cycles, I think, can end. I think we still will see a very weak 4-year cycle, but that's not the game anymore. So now we're looking at the charts differently. We're analyzing differently.
Yeah, exactly. I think like we still have the halving, right? So the halving is going to is obviously going to mark a beginning and an end of a potential cycle. But in between, where we get the 2 years of going down and the 18 months of going up or something like that, I think with the institutional buyers, the whole mining dominance is depleting. I think that is really going to change things, and we may start to see a little bit more of a what do you call it? A parallel with the stock market. That's a possibility. Now, the reason why we're saying this is important is because now more than ever, you cannot just rely on YouTubers helping you with technical analysis. You've got to get up to date with your own charting, your own knowledge of your indicators, reading the on-chain metrics, doing all of the most important things for you to be able to assess what's going on, because we can't rely on the patterns of the past repeating. We may have fractals that repeat, but the entire pattern may not play out. We don't know yet, right? Because we're not through December. We're talking about, like, astrologically, we've been talking about an elongated bull market anyway, and that January, February, March would be the top of the market, because that's astrologically, that's where it's placed. We might even see a dump in December. There's a lot of talk about, the stock market being unstable and getting a dump before Christmas. So that's a possibility, in which case, will we have a red month for December, or are we going to have a green month? And we don't know. So you're investing in your education, investing in mentorship, investing in getting very, very familiar with market forces and how it affects these price action, so that you can master trading without relying on those patterns is going to be really important. There are lots of places you can go to get educated. Obviously, we would really love for you to be part of our community and get the replay of the Conscious Crypto event that we did in October with MMCrypto, Da Vinci J, Crypto Wendy, Blockchain Today, Jerome Volanga, the Bitcoin family, Executive Alchemist. You can see them all there. Offshore Citizen and Tax.Crypto talking about taxes. We had a numerologist there with Lisa, and also Dan from Digital Asset News, or Rob from Digital Asset News. And you can get that over at theconsciouscryptoevent.com. The link is in the description below. And I just wanted to take a couple of minutes before we go into Bitcoin TA to show you all the videos that are there. We've got, like masterclass here with Da Vinci, Jeremy, all of the people that we've mentioned before. And underneath, we've got resources. We've got their video replay, the resources that they spoke about. And we've also got some extra things in here where, Teresa, do you want to talk about just briefly you did a breakout session on trading, and you broke down how to choose your leverage, right?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things, especially if we're now moving into this cycle where Bitcoin and the major coins are just going to be sideways and up, right? So your trading strategy becomes paramount. If you're not relying on a bull run to make money, then your need to be a solid technical trader increases. It increases tenfold. Yeah. And one of the most important elements of that is how to do appropriate risk management, right? So I teach a detailed tutorial in this course on how to choose how much you risk on every trade based on where you need your stop loss to go. And I go into that in detail. I actually give you a little spreadsheet to help you calculate it out. In this kind of market, this kind of knowledge is actually what makes the difference between a trader who's only making a little bit of money or losing money and a trader who's making a lot of money, because you understand the solid principles of how to trade.
Totally. The other thing is obviously is Chris from MMCrypto came in and he talked a little bit about his strategy on how he trades, which he has never shown anybody before on YouTube. Right, he's always showing daily technical analysis, but his actual psychology and the moving averages that he's using and what he's looking at, he broke it down step by step. So if you want to learn about becoming a legendary trader with MMCrypto, that video is there as well. So and there's a section there with me showing you how to put your portfolio together, how to put your strategy together, and how to look at how you're going to exit out of the end of the bull run when we do have the big dip. So even though we've been saying we may not have that 4-year cycle, I mean, it's pretty clear that we do get big dips. We got a 50% dip in the middle of this cycle. We may not get an 80% or a 90%, but you still need to be putting your strategy together on how you're going to get your coins out so that you can capitalize on the profit that you're making and buy back in on the dip. That's all taught over a period of all of these videos. And there's mindset training in there. There's numerology dates that you need to watch out for. So that is at, this is the platform that we deliver the course in, and the actual place where you can get your hands on it is over at theconsciouscryptoevent.com. link is below. So we're going to go over sand today. We're going to go over Engine Coin and Infinity as metaverse coins, because that's one of the things that we've been talking about, is flowing your money out of Bitcoin and Ethereum as it tops into metaverse, because to get that elongated profit cycle there, starting with Bitcoin. So Teresa, were you, I mean, because you had your head in the charts lately?
A little bit, yeah. I'm really enjoying a lot of what you've been talking about in Crypto Ninjas, though, and diving into some of these metaverse coins.
Yeah.
Boy, some of these are going to be really awesome opportunities to make money, and a lot of them have really solid fundamentals when you start wrapping your head around the metaverse and what these coins stand for. So.
Yeah. Hi, everybody in chat. Awesome to see you. We've got a lot of ninjas here today. We've got Kelly and Daniel. That's awesome. Raz, one of our biggest fans. We love you, Raz. And Sin here too. Lovely to see you there. We'd love for you to introduce yourself if you're new to this channel. We're a technical analysis tutorial channel, and we also talk a lot about trading scenarios that could affect price action.
Let us know where you guys are calling in from too. It's always fun to see when we've got people from all over the world. So whether you're listening live right now or whether you're listening to the record later, give us a little comment in the chat and let us know what city you're based in and where you're calling in from, because that's always really fun for us to see. So
totally. So we want to talk about the moon cycle, because we've got new moon coming up. And we want to talk about this head and shoulders. Now, Chris, talking about MMCrypto, was looking at this the beginning of the week, I think, as a head and shoulders here, right?
Yeah.
Which wasn't really beautiful. And when you don't get really beautiful head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders in this case, they don't often play out. And what's happened here is we've now created a better looking head and shoulders. Right, this candle's not quite touching the neckline, but if we did it on an angle, it would be. And we're right at the resistance line, ready to go out. We have broken out from this downward trending channel. We came back down a little bit, and this is probably the retest of support, because we didn't come all the way down. So we do need to watch that. We also need to watch out for this, folks, the Cme Gap that got created on Sunday, which is sitting at 54,300. So this is what I was saying. We could see a dip in December. Not all Cme gaps close. Last bull cycle, 2 of them did not close.
Yeah, I think when we have a Cme gap this close to the price action, though, in a market that's not decisively one direction or the other, I think there's good odds we're going to see this CME gap close at some point. So it's going to be an interesting month because, you know, on the monthly candles, we might be forming a cup and handle. We've got a inverse head and shoulders. It's a weak one. It's, you know, if it breaks out, we're only maybe heading to 63,000. So it's not likely to give us a new all-time high.
Yeah.
We could also be heading down to the CME gap. So this is interesting, guys. We're not quite sure which way the markets are going. And when you're in a decision like that, I like to see decisive confirmations before I trade. When there's things that could pull the market in both directions like this, for me, that's a wait and see moment.
Yeah, exactly. If you didn't get in on this swing here, if you were in our Discord group, I warned everybody at this green candle here. I warned everybody, this is looking like a Bart Simpson in inverse. And a Bart Simpson is like Bart Simpson head. It goes straight up, we zigzag across and straight down. When it's inverse, it goes straight down and zigzag across and straight up. The key is that it starts to look like a bear flag, and everybody was talking about going down, 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 down into the abyss because we've got a bear flag. But when the price action starts going sideways past where we should have broken out, like realistically, this is the green candle that we should have broken down from if this was going to be a classic bear flag. But we continued going sideways. That's always a warning that we could go shooting up unexpectedly to create the other side of Bart Simpson's head. So if you're in our Discord server, Conscious Crypto, you just go to Discord, look up Conscious Crypto, you'd be getting warned about these Bart Simpsons and you would have gotten in on this trade and been in profit by now. But if you're not in a Bitcoin trade, the classic technical analysis, wait till we break this neckline, wait for the retracement, get in when we come back above with a clear green candle above the original breakout where it turned around, look down to the volume. Do we have increasing volume coming in? So we're going to push away from your entrance point. And is the RSI around 50% or under? So we've got space to move up on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. That's what you want to do. Now, this is a really important neckline to watch because it goes back as a level of resistance quite a ways, right? Even if we keep drawing this all the way back there, it was support here. And now it is acting as resistance. So this is a significant level, 59,660, something like that. This is a significant level of resistance. So what we need to get above it is volume in trading, right? Here is the target, 63,894. This is also a breakout from a descending wedge. And this descending wedge has a target of 68,989. And we could even go to 69,000, right? We just need to be aware that we have a CME gap here at 54,300, which is here, coming back down here to this level here where we were trading sideways. So now let us look at our indicators. Can our indicators tell us which direction we're going to go in? Is this a trend reversal, and or are we going to see a little bit more downside? So we want to bring in your support and look at this. We are right at a resistance level right there. Okay, so we've confirmed that. And let's bring in Ichimoku. Ichimoku is in resistance in the 4 hour, but let's bring it down to the 1 hour. See, this is trading sideways, Teresa.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
So here's the deal. This is looking very much like we could be forming a bull flag, which is bullish, and that would obviously take us outside of this pattern into the breakout for the inverse head and shoulders. That would take us to, well, it depends on where it breaks out because it's sloping down, which is not my favorite of bull flags, because when it slopes down like that, it can just keep going down.
Yeah.
But what we want to watch is if we are getting retracements and we're bouncing back, are we starting to create higher lows consistently to give us an indication that we are heading up? So that has a target breakout of about 59,992. There was a question in there about the CME gap. So let me go over to the CME. Do you want to explain that, Teresa, while I'm just setting this up?
Yeah, sure. When we talk about a CME gap, we're talking about the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They're the biggest exchange in the world. And they ceased trading over the weekend. But of course, whenever we're dealing with a currency, currencies don't cease trading over the weekend. Yeah. So when the price the CME closes at a Friday night is different than the price the CME opens at on a Sunday, a lot of the big institutional traders have what's called a gap between where their orders may have closed and where their orders are opening. And I can't remember the exact number, but I think it's something like 98% of the time CME gaps close, the majority of them within 48 hours of the opening on Monday. So we've now passed the 48-hour period. So the odds of this gap closing are now reduced because there's been a lot more time in between, right? Yeah. But that said, invariably CME gaps close. It's just a matter of when, right? Yeah.
I'm just showing them here. Back here, there was a CME gap from 24 to 26,000, give or take. See that there? There's a gap there that never closed. We never came back to close it. But some of the other gaps that we have had, we have indeed closed. And so that's basically it. So we closed the price we closed at on Friday, and the price we closed open at on Sunday was higher than the price we opened at, creating the gap. So that is sitting at 54,300, which remains possible that we might just escape it now and we might not go down to it. But you need to be aware of that so that you are not going into longs with huge positions and huge leverage without certainty of those other indicators, without the certainty that we're on a run, we've got the volume, the RSI is looking good, the trends are all looking bullish, the indicators are flip bullish, and off you go. And then you want to be moving your stop losses up into profit, like as quickly as you can without actually getting dropped out of the trade, if that makes sense. I always wondered why there were gaps between some candles. Yeah, well, now you know. Mina's saying biggest futures exchange. Yeah, it is. It's the biggest futures exchange. So that is Bitcoin. One more thing about Bitcoin before we go on to Ethereum and then our metaverse coins. We have been telling the story that if you're using the moon phases indicator, whenever we have a new moon, which is this turquoise color here, we often see the top of that run, whatever run we're doing, we see a top and we see a fairly substantial retracement. We had a big one here, a little smaller one here, and then we had quite a longer term one here that started just before the full moon. And if you go back for this entire bull run, you will see that new moons, we get a dip, new moons, we get a dip. Some of them we dip short term and then we race right back up. Now, the other thing that we've been seeing is that on the full moons, we start hitting the bottom. So if we keep going down or we've hit a bottom, we then start going up and keep going up. There have been a couple of times where the full moon, we went up, but we came back down below the price of where the full moon started. We did that just recently as well. So you've got to watch out for that. But the bottom line is that the full moons are usually pumps to the new moon. And the new moon is on the 4th of December, which is Saturday? Is that right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
On a Saturday.
Yeah.
So we haven't had a pump this full moon. So once again, we've been talking about patterns are breaking. So it's more important than ever that you don't get married to your indicators and go, oh, look, the RSI is high, so I'm going to short. And what actually happened, is everybody shorted, but a lot of people got liquidated here because they didn't get out on time before we bounced back up again, right? You can't be married to anything. We've got to be using a global approach to looking at the charts and looking at the indicators to get an idea of where we're going. So that is Bitcoin. Let's look at Ethereum. And I haven't set my Ethereum chart up yet, I'm sorry. So it's been a very, very busy morning. Let me get to a cleaner one. Oh God, that's not clean at all.
But it's what a TA's chart normally looks like. A technical analyst. We write all kinds of stuff on our charts. We give you guys the tidy version.
Ethereum has had a little bit more of a bull run than Bitcoin. It feels like Bitcoin has been suppressed. And on the daily, if we go like this is ugly, but it could still be called a W. Right?
Yeah, and that's what we like to see for a W2, where the bottom of the right-hand V being higher than the bottom of the left-hand V usually means there's a much higher probability that the W is breaking out upward and meeting its target. So that even though it's a little bit of a sloppy W, the second V being at a higher price point than the first always makes it a stronger W.
Yeah. So now if you're looking, if you're not in here, if you didn't swing this bounce here, you want to come down into your hourly and have a look at the smaller time frame patterns. Oops. Because we know that the general trend is up, right? Ichimoku Cloud's looking slightly on an incline. So this is slightly, again and again and again, Ethereum looks more bullish than Bitcoin. Yep. Yeah,
I would say.
For those of you new, this is literally what I do, is I just keep deleting all my lines and then redoing them. What have we got here?
Ethereum loves to trade in channels. That's one thing that really characterizes this coin.
Yeah.
It is a channel trader.
Yeah. Now, here's the deal. We do have a bearish divergence here on the RSI. And so that could up to here, and this could have been the play out, like it might not play out even anymore. We'll have to wait and see. But this is an upwards trending channels tend to break to the downside more often than they break to the upside. And this could bring us back down to 4,030 or 434 if we retrace, and that would kind of add weight to the fact that we could get a CME Gap close tomorrow, right? With Bitcoin, it's possible that we get a retracement, but I think we'd get a fast bounce and then up, and that could happen. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen Saturday, since that's new moon, and new moon is usually wherever we've been running. The new moon energy, more often than not, creates some kind of a retracement. So we want to then bring in your Fibonacci's. We want to take it to the top. This often happens with Ethereum, by the way, when we start approaching all-time highs, as we get a pullback. So if we look at that, the first thing we want to do is we want to look at the golden ratio, which is down here. Does this have confluence with anything? 4,466, so that's a possible retracement.
And we're seeing that right at the top of the Ichimoku Cloud too. So when I see fib lines start lining up with the Ichimoku Cloud, I pay attention to that.
Yeah.
The thing I really pay attention to in a situation like this is if it keeps trading sideways, it's going to break that lower support line. So we might not notice it, because it's just going sideways and we think that doesn't mean anything, but that would be a break of that support line. In fact, often what we see very innocuously is it breaks the support line, retests it. We just think it's a sideways market, but really what we're getting is the indications that we're about to come down. So I'm going to be looking for a definitive bounce upward here, or it breaking that line. One of those two things are going to happen, and that way we'll know which way to trade here.
Yeah. I put in ninjas this morning. This could also be an ascending triangle, right? So the bottom line is we can't rely on a full moon pump. Like a cycle could be getting broken here. Yeah. So that's 2 cycles broken. So the pinnacle of this is on the 2nd of December. So that's tomorrow. So we want to see, are we going to break out to the upside of this ascending triangle and start going higher to the higher levels, which I showed you before, and stop off on the way here at 4968. And then if we go into price discovery, the golden ratio is sitting up at around 5,308. And we've got this 5,221 target from the day W pattern. So it's kind of looking bullish. We just posted a red a candle open under the support, which is now acting as resistance. So we could be getting some magnetism to head down. This could be happening right now as we speak. So what I usually like to do is go all the way down into the 5 minute to look at the Ichimoku Cloud to see if it can give me some clues as to what it's doing. And it doesn't really have any clues. It still looks like it's just going sideways.
Looking very sideways, which can be code for go sideways long enough, we're heading down.
Heading down.
So
exactly.
that's, you know, that's worth paying attention to.
Yeah.
If we do go up, I as a probability trader, I think the higher probability is we're not seeing enough bullishness in the market here for it to break the upper support line of this channel.
Yeah.
So I think we're probably going to cycle around one more time in this channel if we do break upward.
Yeah.
But that having said, you know, you got to wait and see, right? A trader who makes money is always waiting for the indicators and the confirmations.
Yeah. We're not predicting what's going to happen and then placing a trade based on our predictions of what we think is going to happen. We're responding to what the charts are telling us is going to happen. So if you're scalping and you want to trade from 4,687 up to the resistance line, then you're welcome to do that. But what you need to watch out for is this slope. We created a lower high. So this might not be an ascending triangle. It might be a symmetrical triangle, in which case it's a continuation pattern to the upside, right? And therefore we could move this here and then, you know, we're still looking good for going down because we've come down into, see here, we've come down into this triangle. So we're at a critical point for Ethereum right now in terms of which direction are we going in. And our indicators are showing that we could just trade sideways here, which means gravity might pull us back down to at least this blue line here at the 0.786 on the fib for 4,607, or come back down to their golden ratio, which we spoke about before, or come all the way down to this channel before bouncing up. So, so be very, very careful with getting into a trade right now. I would be waiting. I also wouldn't short it because so many of the shorts have been not going all the way down to the support lines and just reversing on people. Yeah.
We have a request in the chat for Sand, one of our favorite Metaverse coins. So why don't we jump over to Sand?
Yeah, if you've been following our channel, love for you to like the live stream if you're really enjoying what we're giving here. We've been talking about Metaverse, the whole story that's going on in terms of where crypto is going to flow as Bitcoin and Ethereum top out, is that it'll flow into lower altcoins, like the smaller cap altcoins usually start topping out a week after Ethereum does. And then there's talk that the money will flow into NFTs, Metaverse coins, gaming coins to get in another week or two of a bull run. And when that started being the talk of the town, even before Facebook talked about Meta, we started seeing a massive move. Now, we've been talking about getting into Sand and Ninjas at around about this price here, just before it actually started here, where we were trading sideways and it didn't look like anything, you know, of significance was going to happen right here. I think I got in at about 55 cents, which was back here, but Ninjas started coming in here. And then all of a sudden we shot up and we didn't get too much of a retracement. We shot up, we didn't get too much of a retracement. We shot up and we came back down again. So the bottom line is for a lot of these Metaverse coins, we're not getting the big retracements.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
Drunken wobbles upward everywhere. But yeah, this is interesting. You know, we could be seeing at a more macro level on sand, this could be, if this keeps going sideways, a Bart Simpson, right? We could be looking at a Bart Simpson. So we do want to have our wits about us. But what I'm loving about some of these metaverse coins is they're really high volatility. So that gives you opportunity to trade some of these smaller patterns in the market for those of you who do want to experiment with scalping. Or trying out some of these rebalancing bots. On the stuff I'm hodling, I love, you know, trading a rebalancing strategy. And rebalancing strategy just means you say, I'm 70% Bitcoin, 10% sand, 20% Ethereum or something like that. And you rebalance at periodic intervals. And some of the exchanges like KuCoin have automated bots that let you rebalance with the bot. Because of how volatile sand and meta and some of these metaverse coins are, they're great in a rebalancing strategy to rebalance against other coins. And I'm really loving the fundamentals on sand as one of them. It's one of the main coins I'm putting in some of my rebalancing strategies because of that.
Yeah, I've done really well on this. So look, this is what we need to look out for. These metaverse coins and these NFTs are not behaving like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other altcoins. Look at the RSI on the daily. Like, people shorting this would have shorted here, right? They would have put in a short and probably thought it was going to keep going down, stayed in the short and got liquidated out on the way back up, right? If you trade the RSI only, you would have shorted here again and you might have missed it. You might have not got out on time. Same here. This is traditionally RSI traders will short whenever we're overbought up in these areas. And we're saying this is not behaving, and we don't have enough data because these are new coins to know what its patterns are. We're watching the patterns play out. But so watch out for that. We are way overbought here.
Yeah, it's really important with newer coins like these metaverse coins. They show huge promise, but these are like the early days of Bitcoin, right? So there's not enough market cap here to trade these on a pattern trading basis. Like, we can look for bull pennants, we can look for Bart Simpsons, but personally, I wouldn't trade these coins that way. I do think they're really worth paying attention for, though, and really worth having in your portfolio, really worth balancing against, or for those of you who are experimenting with scalping or trying out scalper bots, they're nice and volatile. So they're great for like grid trading or scalper bots for those of you who are the more advanced traders. I wouldn't rely on the patterns on these coins, though, because there's just not enough market cap for them to be following patterns the way we would normally expect coins to follow patterns.
Even the Fibonacci levels. It's like, you know, it's like here we went and we didn't, and we just stopped randomly somewhere, right? We came up here. Yes, we stopped at the Fibonacci level here. We retraced back here. But when this fell, we just fell short of retracing back to the golden ratio. And I missed this because I sold at the top and I was looking to buy back in, and I missed this. So I had to get back in slightly higher. So you get rid of everything that you think about how this is going to behave, and actually watch its behavior and go with that, because you know, I mean, the bottom line is that this is on the daily, this is a bull flag. We need to break out today or tomorrow on the daily. We need to get above 736 in order for this to play out. $9 and going up to $9.78. The golden ratio above us is $13. $16 is one of the predicted prices to $20 for this coin. Who knows? We'll see. But we need to break out today or tomorrow. Otherwise, we're trading too far sideways on the daily, And as Teresa said, we need to watch out for this potentially turning into a sudden dip and finally getting a big retracement back down to this Fibonacci level or somewhere close to $3.64. So just watch that. And a good place to watch for that is on the daily, is on the 4 hourly, on the hourly. So if we come down into the 4 hourly, this looks like it's just going to trade sideways here. So again, I don't know. I got a feeling. I think we could.
The longer a coin goes sideways, the more probable it is it's going down. So that's always good to pay attention on. But that said, with a small market cap coin like this, we don't know how far down, right? It might just come down halfway and then head back up again. So, so these are fun coins to trade, but don't trade them like you can predict based on patterns. That's not the way to trade coins like this. They're too unpredictable and too volatile.
It's kind of like you either have to hodl or you just have to scalp the moves, because you don't, like you don't know how high it's going to go and you don't know how low it's going to go, because it's not playing out according to the patterns, right? Not always, at least anyway. So here we are on the 4 hourly. The Ichimoku is definitely looking a little trading sideways here. And this has got, like, if you were to call this a bull flag here, we should have broken out right over back here. So we've extended the bull flag on the 4 hourly. If we go over to the hourly, let me just take Ichimoku off there so you can see a little bit. We currently could be forming a smaller bull flag here, in which case we could keep going up, and we could also be forming a smaller inverse head and shoulders. So we just want to watch for that. Bottom line though, this is a really good coin to dollar cost average into, because you could be getting really good gains over the 4 years when we don't know whether we're going to get a bear market traditionally, like we have done in the past for Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So the other one, let me just draw that there so you can know that that's the potential inverse head and shoulders to watch out for. The other one that I really like is Engine. It's a good platform. You want to go and look up the fundamentals. You just clean these charts up here a little bit for you. And this is another one that we've been looking at in Ninjas, and this looks like a W. Right. If we go out over to the daily though, let's have a look at how it's been performing. One of the things that you want to note, and you just go and have a look and compare the charts, is when these metaverse coins have been pumping, we've been seeing dumping or sideways action from Bitcoin and Ethereum, suggesting that money's flowing out of Bitcoin and Ethereum and into metaverse coins to ride the trend. Yep. Okay, cool. Oh, that's good. Kelly says things are really starting to click. So you want to look up this one here. This has just been going from strength to strength. It's a really strong, solid project, which I like. And it's, again, small retracements. We've not had a significant retracement. Oh, except maybe you could call this a significant one. That's the big one that happened in April, right? Little bit one in May. Is it something about May go away? What's that? Trade and close and...
Yeah, I don't know that one. Sorry.
Anyway, we'll get back to you with that. But look at this. Again, RSI has been traveling. We have a bearish divergence here, where we've got a high here and a low at this peak here, but we've been going up. So we've been traveling around in overbought territory on these coins. And I think a lot of this is just pure hype. I think people are excited. There are people playing games on some of these platforms and really getting into them. So we've got a tremendous amount of hype. What do you think about that? Do you think that might be a head and shoulders, even though we've touched here?
Could be. Again, though, on these small market cap coins, I always am skeptical about trying to trade patterns because there's just not enough market cap on these coins. That doesn't mean they're not exciting and worth jumping into and worth trading. But I do hold different trading strategies when I'm in these small market cap coins. I do things more like rebalancing strategies, things like that, because trying to trade the patterns, they're way too unpredictable for that. They just don't have enough market cap to be solid on that.
Yeah, we don't have enough. We don't have enough data going backwards to see how it performs. But generally speaking, it has been performing really solidly. And Efinity is the other one. And this is a really nice cup and handle here.
Yeah, really strong divergence on the RSI though. So, you know, that's worth paying attention to.
Well, here, top, low, boom, high.
Yeah. And that's a bearish divergence. So that one may be coming back down. Then again, these coins don't perform by the normal probabilities. So just have your wits about you when you're trading these, but they're a lot of fun. Like these are like lottery tickets. This is early days for these metaverse coins. It's like if you were buying and trading in Bitcoin back when Bitcoin was 50 cents, right? So these are fun coins to accumulate, because these could be worth a heck of a lot of money, the ones that do stick around, you know.
With this bearish divergence, Teresa, finishing here, this could be it playing out, and now we've got a green candle. So let's have a look at where we might be going. Let's have a look at the neckline of the cup and handle here. Looks like we could be getting a bounce off of this neckline of the cup and handle as we're speaking, right, to suggest that we're heading back up. And the thumbs up, by the way, if you really like us covering the metaverse coins, because we'll do more of that, just because this is going to be elongated as far as your profit taking potential, in my opinion. Might not end up being true, but at the moment it looks like it could be. So this is going to $2.82. And then we've got this cup and handle, right? So let's have a look see where that's going. I'm going to draw it at the, I'm going to draw the cup and handle at the top of, and ignore the wicks, because sometimes those wicks are that's just crazy emotion. That's not actual technical analysis, but I'll observe it and go, maybe we could go higher, but I'm going to call that. So we come up, depending on where we end up being on the trajectory of this neckline for this cup and handle, we're heading towards $2.98. So as far as retracing is concerned, I don't know. I think if this candle on the daily stays green, I think we're getting a bounce here. And
I judge by the neckline on that one too. Yeah, I think you're right, because that divergence may have played out. If it breaks the neckline, then we may be going down further. So I'd wait and see, since we're hovering at the neckline of that cup and handle right now.
You come down onto the 4 hour, and we're looking like we could actually have a bullish divergence, because look at this. We've got a lower low on the RSI, but a higher low on the price action, ever so slightly, right? Boom, up there it is there. So on the 4 hourly, that's looking pretty bullish. So if anybody was interested in getting in this coin, it's sitting right on resistance, possibly hitting it back up again. It might be a good opportunity to research it and get involved. Ichimoku.
Yeah, with these metaverse coins, I like to see the ones that have really good structure around them, like a really avid gaming network, and you know, like a really good fan base. And you know, so some of these ones we're talking to you about have that, and I think that bodes well for them being amongst the ones that last and become the winners. We're going to see a bunch of coins go away here in the next 2 years. That, you know, just like in the dawn of the internet, we had hundreds of search engines, and then it all boiled down to just a couple. We're going to see the same thing with these metaverse coins. So it'll be interesting to see which ones win. Yeah,
especially if the SEC keeps walking around with its soldier boots on, right? It's like just knocking off the coins one by one. It'll be like everything else. It'll be a monopoly, but then there'll be a new thing, a new innovation within the space that will take over it. So look at this. Remember this slope here. This was the top of the bull flag. We actually broken out of it, but we failed to get the momentum to go up, and we're just falling down. But we're falling down into a narrowing wedge. In which case, you know, we could be breaking up to go back up to $2 and then go to those higher prices. But the bottom line is Metaverse. get involved. I think.
Yeah, pay attention. This is the next big one, guys.
Not financial advice, but go get involved. Go do the research and decide, you know, what coins that you want. Is that BitBoy Crypto is really big into Metaverse. So he does quite a lot of fundamentals on the coins. I've shown you my top 3 that I like and that I'm focusing on. And we'll keep you posted on these, because we have been talking quite a bit about getting involved in Metaverse coins on this channel. So guys, I think we've come to the end. Yeah, let's have a look quickly what Bitcoin's doing before we finish. No the launch.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for all your comments, guys. Always fun to see what cities you're calling in from. I love it that we had people from all over the world here. That's really cool. And actually people who are living halfway around the world from where they're from, that's really neat. That's fun for us to see. I'm a Canadian living in Costa Rica. Nicola's my neighbor as a New Zealander living in Costa Rica. Always really fun to hang out with you guys. So thanks, guys. The liking, the thumbs up, and the comments in the chat really really do support us. This channel remains a fundraiser to help build roads in our local community here, or other infrastructure projects that really support the economy of the local community. So thank you, guys. We really appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts. Really, this is really a joy for us to do.
And one way you can donate to the fundraiser for our community projects is to invest in yourself. In the Masterclass Series replay of our event that we had, 21 hours of intense learning, strategy planning, moving through stuff. And if you've got any questions, you go over to our Discord server at Conscious Crypto and ask your questions there. And the proceeds of 100% of the proceeds of this, after we've paid any staff cost, goes towards those the fundraiser community projects. So we would deeply appreciate you being involved in that, as well as investing in yourself, so that we know you're not going to make any crazy, stupid decisions and lose out on the potential for life-changing wealth, which is possible over the next coming months.
Yeah. So guys, until next time, trade consciously.
Bye-bye.